welcome to video number 4 in my series for Inktober. We are drawing all of the tangles that have been listed in this challenge by Stephanie, and you can see all of our information over here. If you would like to get this list for yourself, you can find it at on her Instagram and Facebook group. So there is that. Today we are on day number 22, and in this video we'll be doing 5 tangles, and then the last video will have 5 tangles to wrap up all 31 days of the challenge. I'm drawing mine in this little fold out that I made that I intend to keep with me, because these are all tangles that I don't use very often, and I do want to change that. I want to add new tangles to my go-to toolbox, so I'm just going to keep this with me as a reminder of that. So the first tangle for today is Syndeo, and that is by Stephanie herself. So let's start with it. We start with a little circle, and then you create a little half circle there, little line that comes back in to join this one. Do the same on the other side. This is a simple, fun tangle. And that's it. And you can keep drawing these in a line if you would like. For instance, let's do this once again. And it's sideways over here, but you could always draw it as a flower as well. So most tangles that you will probably come across, there will be ways in which you can personalize them or draw them that is unique to you, and I definitely think you should explore that, because I mean that's the fun of being creative, right? You can give your own spin to things. But this is a great challenge that Stephanie has put together. There have been so many different tangles, and most of them I hadn't drawn before, so this is really fun and good practice. Okay, so next up is Roos from Oswaldo, Burbano, and I kind of made a mistake here. I created zigzag lines and I created the spikes at the top that were in the tangle, but my lines are too far apart for what we wanted to do. So again, good lesson. We need to create a zigzag line and this can be used to fit into whatever space you have. You can just cut the line off when you're when you reach the boundary of the space that you have. I'm just making sure I've got them all down. Yes. Okay, so what we do next is we create this little bell jar shape we turn ourselves around and we create another bell jar shape. And actually I think this is where I had made a little bit of a mistake. And the one on top, you just join the curves like that. Okay. So when we come back over here, we see that there's this little bit of an overlap and we complete those lines. So when we make the two opposite bell jars, we get these little spaces in the middle, which is what we want, which is what I was missing. And these spaces are going to be colored. I really hope me sharing all the mistakes I've made in during this challenge or drawing these tangles is helping all of you, because sometimes it's good to just, you know, see someone draw something because you can see all the pitfalls, or you can see, because there are some tangles in which the way the lines are placed in relation to each other, and I've said this before, is super important, and in some tangles it really isn't. So that's Roos, and we are done with day number 23. Now on to day number 24. So we've done, in this video, we've done Syndeo and we've done Roos, and we will do 3 more, which are Flutch, Onamato and Miliacrown, and then the last 5 will come in our last video for Inktober. So let's do this. We are on to Flutch for day 24. That is by Heidi Kay. Okay, so this I can already tell is a tangle where it matters where things are in relation to each other, so we will be careful about the way we place everything. So halfway down this line, 1 orb and then 1 right above it. Same here. Okay, now we create these petals like this, and for this again, it is, in my opinion, it's beneficial to kind of turn the page. So if this one is going here, this one is supposed to be going here. So this one is coming in, this one is going out. This one is coming like this. This one will join it over here. And this one will come out like this. This one will join it over here. This one will come out like this. And this one will join it over here. Now we make 1 more petal that is going in this direction and coming back, and one petal that is going in this direction and coming back. Then we have one that's going in this direction, coming back. Sometimes it's a lot of simple steps that are being repeated, but it really matters where you are making those lines, because some things are supposed to, interlock. And there we go. Okay, what next? Okay, so now what we're doing is we're kind of completing the rectangles like this, and then we're taking this up like that, and we're bringing this one down all the way here like that. This one is going to go all the way down here, and then the other one is like that. Now, I probably should have done a better job of making sure that all of this was aligned. So maybe making the squares instead of just the plus sign in the beginning would have helped. But here we go. There's that. And this. There we go with that. And then I think she's just doubled the lines. So kind of like an aura. I love the look that an aura gives to a finished piece. It adds a lot of delicate lines. I really like that. Okay, and then I believe there are more leaves that you can put in. But we have to be careful because we're not to cross any of these lines. So there is one that goes behind here. So we make it like this, skipping the line over there. And then there's one that comes like this over here, again skipping the line. And you can turn it around like this. Same, one here, skipping the line. And then there's one here that skips the line. that is Flutch. And obviously the one that Heidi has is kind of in a square because all of her lines in relation to each other were perfect. I didn't quite achieve that, but I think it would help if you start by, instead of just putting in a plus sign, you just start with the 4 boxes, because that will give you a better guide, in my opinion. And maybe just do that with a pencil, because as you can see, there are spaces here where there is, you know, not really any line somewhere. So I mean, it's totally up to you if you want to do it and you think you can keep the circles the way they're supposed to be, because I think what I did was, this one should have been here, this one should have been out a little bit, and so basically I just needed 4 perfect squares, which I didn't get. But this is a fun one, and I think doing it like 3 or 4 times will really help in learning how to do it properly. And I'm also thinking that maybe one could do just 1 square also, if you just wanted to, you know, put it in the center of a tile. You don't have to do 4 together, I don't think. So yeah, this is a fun one to experiment with. Okay, on we go to Onamato. Now this is Onamato. This is by Zentangle Inc. And let's see. Let's start. I just want to make sure that I am in frame. Okay, so we start with a line, curvy line, then one that is parallel to it. Give this an aura, give this one too, and then we make orbs in the middle. Mine are more like ovals. I guess you can vary them based on how thick or thin your line is. And then we go ahead and we place little circles, little orbs in the border. The 2 lines on top and the 2 lines on the bottom. I can see that this tangle can be super dramatic with a little bit of shading and coloring, and I love that about the Zentangle Inc official tangles. Sometimes the simplest tangle can be elevated with just a little bit of shading. So there we have it. That's the basic tangle. That's it. But what I want to do is I want to color in this part, which is kind of like the background. And then you can add a little bit of shading if you would like to one side of the orbs. And all of a sudden it becomes much more dramatic than it started out being. Add a little bit of shading under this. And that is Onamato. The last tangle for today is Miliacrown. This is a flower tangle. It's by Susan Yeo. And we start with a bit of a upside down bell jar shape with these little swirls. Then we join the two lines like that. We create this little doodle in the center. Then we join the lines from the back and fill them in. Then you can add a little bit of a line like that, and just create these lines. Maybe fill this in a little bit, and that's it. That's the tangle. And you can create several of these, make a bunch of them, or just create one in the center of your tangle. But this is super simple and a lot of fun. So today we're starting with Camus, then Kasual, Oasis, Trixyz, and Pokeroot. And let's start with Camus by Annett Rumpler. So we start with a line, and then we create these little half orbs. Like that. And then there is another line. So this is also kind of like a border tangle. And then you bring it down like that. And then you create a line here. So this is a super simple tangle. All you have to do is be a little careful of the order of the lines that you're drawing and that they don't overlap at the wrong places. Now we do the orb again, but making sure to stop where our other lines are. And then we go down. Sorry, I missed this one. So before I go down, then I go down on these, then here, then here, and then we can just keep on going as far as we'd like. So first it's the orb, then it's the pillar, then it's the top, then it's the bottom. And so this creates a beautiful network of lines, and this tangle is super soothing to draw. I really like it. And this would be perfect as a border tangle, or to make a frame, maybe around a watercolor. Just gorgeous, and it just looks so art deco. I really love it. Next we are up to day number 28. This is Kasual by, I really hope I'm pronouncing this name right, Iratxe, Garate, CZT. So let's see how we draw this one. Okay, so we start with little rectangles that are divided in the center like that. And again, this is one of those tangles where things kind of need to be equidistant and the same size. Then one comes in the middle here. Then we start with the bottom line and join it to the top of this, like that. So you can see that this line from here is meeting the top half over there. And we keep doing that. Now the bottom meets the top half of the one below it. There. And that was the bottom, that is the top. And so you just keep on going like that. You can now fill in the centers with anything that you would like. You can make these, well, I almost think it looks like a pipe network, so you can make these pipes thicker and cover those in other tangles. But I'm going to do one of the examples that have been shown here by the artist. She just added another tangle in the center here. And so, I mean, you could create this network of pipes on an opus tile, so a really big one, and then you could fill in all these little spaces with different angles. That would have been a fun way to do Inktober as well. We could just have created this on like a really large scale and then gone from there. So I'm just going to kind of extend it a little to show you. I mean, on a larger scale, this would just keep on going on. Okay, on to the next one. Okay, so now we're doing Oasis by Pedros, and it's a pretty simple tangle, but there are a couple of things to keep in mind. You're supposed to create this little loop, but make sure that your tail over here is very short. My tail over here was very long and it ended up not looking the way it needed to look. So just make sure that it's mostly loop and a little bit of a tail, like that. Let's see if we can play around with this a little bit, because the idea is that you can make this tube shape go any direction you want. So if you want like a slight arc, or you want to take it up. So this is basically it. These are the guidelines, and then you just connect the ends. And there you go. That's Oasis. But there are so many things that you can do with this, and I'm just going to show you the tips and suggestions that Thomas has shared, and you can go and look for his pattern on tanglepatterns.com. And this is just an idea of how you can take simple things and really elevate them. So over here, he's just added an aura to the two. He's also looked at making one loop bigger and one smaller, and so, you know, you come up with this interesting shape. I actually really like this. And then he put in black over here and a few orbs in here, and then there's just a little bit of shading. So there's a lot that you can do with these tangles, and I would really encourage you to go and see if any of the creators of the tangles that we've been drawing through Inktober have sheets like these where they've given tips and suggestions. So something this simple becomes this. I think that's super cool, and for me that's the whole fun of Zentangle. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just after the fact create a few auras and see where they take me. And I mean, sometimes you will get some inspiration yourself as well. I mean, things that a tangle that you want to take further, and you can totally do that. I really like that. So you can do that. If you want, you could like put little orbs in the center. Those actually look very cool because you have smaller ones and then you have larger ones, and they kind of really fit in well. Very cool. And then you could just go in and add these little arcs, and I mean, already it's looking super complicated to draw, but it really was not. So again, I love basic tangles like these that we can play around with. So the next one is, and this is the second last one for the month, is Trixyz. Love the way she spells it. So Tina starts with a triangle, and then you find the center, one line parallel to the line here, one line parallel there, and one line parallel like this. Then you join this to this end, you bring this down parallel to this one, and you take this one up parallel to this one, and then all you do is create a triangle like this over here, one over here, and one over here. And this just looks like it's a woven kind of triangle. And if you want to accentuate that a little bit, you just add a little bit of shading. Just going to quickly look for my pencil. My torchon will do. And so the ones that you feel are under, like I think this one is kind of going under this one is going under this one, and then this one here, just add a little bit of shading there and it'll really make the whole thing pop. So again, a super simple tangle but very fun to draw. We could add an aura around this. Like that, and you can even add like little triangles over there. So again, I mean, have fun with the tangles. That's what they're there for. See what you would like to do with them. Last tangle for the month is Pokeroot by Zentangle, and this is one of the first tangles that I ever learned to draw. So you start with a little stalk and then a little hat like that, and then you put a little bit of black under it and you create this orb. And the whole idea is that this is an organic tangle and it's supposed to behave that way. So any space that you have to fill on your tile, Pokeroot can grow there, no problem. Again, super simple, but they're just so whimsical. And I love all things fantasy, and botanical. So this is one of my favorite go-to tangles. And like you can see me doing over here, I mean, you can take this wherever you want. And that's it. That's a wrap for Inktober. I am going to be sharing some pictures of my finished display with you guys. Obviously, there were some where we learned and I had to, you know, learn from our mistakes, and I had to put in these white strips, but I go in and paint them, and you know, that's okay. I'm going to go in and add a little bit of color pencil, a little bit of coloring, maybe some shading, and then I will share final pictures on my social media, so look out for those. I really hope you enjoyed this month's videos, and I will be back with many more videos centered around tangling and creative journaling, both things that I absolutely love. So I'll see you next time.